Welcome to the channel. My name is Pat. I am the outsider. Used to be military, now I do car reviews. Gotta like that. Speaking of like, press like, subscribe. Get on with the show. We got the 2025 Cadillac CT5 this week, and this one is the premium luxury trim. So in Canada we have three trims. We got luxury, premium luxury, and sport. Then you have specialty vehicles like the Blackwing. But without further ado, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the specs right before we get going. This one is the 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine with 237 horsepower, 258 pounds-feet of torque, powered through a 8-speed transmission. It's got 25 miles per gallon fuel economy combined, or 9.6 liters per 100 kilometers for here in Canada. Now you do have different engine combinations. You got a 2.7 liter here in Canada as well, but in the States you guys have a 3-liter V6. You got the V series, which puts up 360 horsepower and 405 pounds-feet of torque. Then, like I said, the Blackwing 6.2 liter V8, 668 horsepower, 659 pounds-feet of torque. I don't have that one this week, so it's not what I'm going to talk about, but that sounds pretty nice. Right away, let's get right into it. Let me turn that camera around, and here we go. You gotta love that front fascia. It looks mean, looks muscular, and that is something that I like compared to perhaps European brands, is that Cadillac is a luxury vehicle that still looks muscular and mean. It's riding on 20-inch wheels. These wheels look pretty nice, if I might say. It's got the nice spokes design, and we have a nice blue wave metallic color, and it looks pretty sharp. I gotta say, if I was to get this vehicle, that's definitely one of the colors I would look at. It looks pretty sharp. Kind of changes color a little bit in the sun as well. Now, since it's very cold out here, I'm going to take you right inside. And we're going to look at a couple of things, but look at that nice kind of like Sahara colored seats, coyote color, whatever you want to call it. It's good, and it's got some carbon fiber all around. The materials are really nice in there, so let me get in there and have a little talk with you about everything else. And welcome inside. Let's start it up. Sounds pretty good. You got all the chimes here, and the color, choice here. I do like, the Sahara stitching, as well as, the darker leatherette here on the dash, as well as over here. So you got all the surfaces you're gonna touch are leatherette, as you would expect from a premium luxury vehicle. And I do like the sound of this one. Right here, this is going to be your main event right here, the 33-inch one screen, 33-inch, but kind of divided into some segments. It makes a lot of sense. So over here, you definitely have all your choice from your gauge, where you can have your maps loaded right into your digital gauge cluster right here, and you can choose anything from clean to gave, and you got your trip. There you go. Trip distance. Fuel economy is rated at 21 miles per gallon, or 11 something liters per 100 kilometers, but you can see the average is actually quite below that. It's around 10.3 liters per 100 kilometers, or whatever miles. I'm gonna put them down there. I don't do math that quick off the line. So, and you can control your heads-up display over here. This is somewhat customizable, and that's through the screen over here. But I like the crisp quality of the Cadillac screens. GM does a really good job with their screen. Over here I'd have my Android, no, correction, it's my built-in Google Android platform that I'm using, and I downloaded the app Waze because I prefer it for my navigation. You guys choose whatever you want, but the reason why I'm doing that, when I'm downloading, I'm not going off because it does have wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. If I go on Android Auto, this is the size of the map screen that I can actually have. I can enlarge that a little bit, but you can see it doesn't take the whole screen, something that I don't like. So I tend to use the built-in navigation, not the built-in correction, the built-in Google system, where I download my own navigation app, in this case Waze, and then it takes the whole screen. and it looks much sharper. Everything, it syncs up with your digital gauge cluster as well. Up here I do have a camera and a mirror handy. I think General Motors does this the best. Leatherette, like I said, you got some hard touch for HVAC. So I just returned actually a Buick, a brand new Buick, and it's got the same 33-inch screen, but they kind of foregoed most of the HVAC buttons, and they have the HVAC in the bottom of the screen that's permanently there in the screen, and a few just the fan speed. I do like that here I have everything from your HVAC controls are all here. Sure, you can go through the screen, but you don't need to at all. Definitely like that part here. I got my heated and ventilated seats, parking assist, lane keeping assist, cameras. Now General Motors definitely is good on cameras because you can have all kinds of view, overhead, sides. Now I do like there you go, the sides here. Sides in the front, sides in the back. They're a camera system. You won't have any issues with those whatsoever, and you have a button here just to activate them in case they're not going on by themselves. Press exit, back to the main screen. Heated and ventilated seats for both. We got power 14-way power adjustable seats, and it's not overbearing. I test drove the Lincoln that had like a 20 different way of adjusting, where you can have like one butt cheek higher than the other. Don't know why you need that. These are actually very comfortable as far as seating, and you do have massage functions as well. Wireless charger over here. Drive modes, we do have several drive modes. We have sports, snow and ice, my mode, so you can customize the drive mode, and it tells you on the right here what's different about these customizability. So as far as that steering, more responsive or to less responsive, and sports mode, obviously everything is going to be wired to the right. As far as suspension, adaptive damper suspension, which I'll talk about when I take it for a drive. And then you have your cup holders. However, you won't fit a big gulp cup in these, and you can hide them like this. I don't feel a need for it, but a lot of luxury segment vehicles have this, so I guess a lot of people don't like to show that they have cup holders. Comment below why that is, or if you actually use it, or if you always leave the door open like I do. Over here we have not a trackpad, but a tracking wheel for the screen infotainment system. The infotainment system is very responsive. I have no issues with it, so I don't see a big need for this wheel, but it's pretty cool that we have a volume wheel, and you have some quick shortcut buttons such as music, phone, and navigation, home, and all that stuff. Over here I have a slot that you would think that you can put a phone in, and you can. And remember, a lot of GM vehicles had a slot here that was the wireless charger, and this would be a really good opportunity for GM to have a secondary wireless charger, because sometimes we're not the only ones in the car. But it's not a wireless charger, it is just a storage spot. It's a good opportunity though. I think I'd like to see a secondary wireless charger. And console opens in the side like this, and plenty of space. And this is where you have your charging capabilities for whoever's not using the wireless charger. So USB-A, USB-C, and a 12 volt. Oh, big guy in the back seat. Here we go. Start with 38 inches of leg room, and I'm only 5'9", but I've got zero headroom. This is touching, and if I was to lean forward, this is definitely touching because of that panoramic sunroof over here. Yeah, not a big fan of the height here, but this is the sedan world, I would say. But kangaroo pouch, still very comfortable. I do have cup holders, and these, surprisingly enough, are bigger than the ones in the front. Usually it's kind of the opposite, but yeah, it is what it is. I got my own ventilation, but no ventilation control, so this is just dual zone control type of vehicle. And I have USB-C and a 12 volt adapter. This is a fairly significant hump right here. I would not want to sit in the middle here. And overall though, being 5'9", I'm okay. But if you're like 5'10", this might be a little tight for you. But comfort wise, you definitely feel the comfort. Definitely a lot of knee space, and I can fit my feet underneath the seat, no problem. And if you go in the trunk, here's some images of the trunk, you'll have 11.9 cubic feet with a fairly large opening and a little bit of extra storage below, so no spare tires included. It's a decent sized trunk for a sedan. But comfort-wise, as you would expect from Cadillac, pretty comfortable. A little bit more on the firm side. I prefer that for my back. It's all going to come a personal preference type of situation. And we have a panoramic sunroof, but it is divided with this bar in between. So there's that. Let's take it for a drive. And here we are, we're on board, and I just wanted to show you real quick because I didn't have this when I show you the interior. This is my sports model, and it does not fit, and it usually does in most vehicles. So, and it will fit in the back, just not in the front. However, I'm pretty sure all the lattes size from Starbucks will fit, so that's not much of an issue for most people. And right here I have it on sports mode, so we're going to take it for a drive right away. I'm going to do 0 to 60 time. In the rear wheel drive is 6.6 seconds, and for us 0 to 60 time is around 7 seconds, but it does sound really nice. I do like the sound of that engine, but it does have, this is the all-wheel drive variant, so it's a little slower than rear wheel drive. It still has some good pep, sounds really nice. But what I really love about it is the handling. Now, I just picked this car up in Montreal, and Montreal, Quebec, Canada is notoriously renowned for terrible roads. Very just terrible freaking roads. And that kind of surprised me. The CT5 surprised me in that sense because we have 20-inch wheels. It's not the smallest wheels you can have on a sedan. And I thought this was just going to be rough. It's going to be hard. It was not. And because this is a sportier type of handling. If I want to zigzag, oh yeah, I do have a little bit of body roll, but it's I was doing a little bit more aggressive than I usually do because this is a sedan, and I usually, you know, review bigger vehicles. I just reviewed a full-size SUV yesterday, so there's that. But it handles really well, and it absorbs really well. That's where it surprised me. It usually you're either geared for comfort or you're geared for performance, and this one is definitely a really fine line between the two. Soundproofing, right now we're not on a highway, we're kind of like on a rural road going roughly around 70 kilometers an hour, and it's really good. However, it was a very windy day on the highway, and I could tell you that, you know, the soundproofing could be better because I was in like a full mid-size SUV yesterday on the same highway, and it was a Buick, and the soundproofing was a little bit better. So it is very windy today, and I do have winter tires, which does affect it. So do give me some feedback if you do have this vehicle, and how's it doing for soundproofing, because I thought it could be improved quite a bit. But as I'm driving here right now with a less windy condition, it sounds really well soundproof. Visibility pretty good, no issues with visibility. Got a nice panoramic sunroof that opens it all up. All in all, I'm very happy with this vehicle. It is starts at $55,000 Canadian, and it sounds really good. The engine roar sounds really good. It's something that you're gonna want to rev it, and the fuel economy is not too bad. This is not the most performance one. Like, you can go for a little bit of 2.7 liter engine as opposed to 2 liter engine, or maybe just get yourself a V8 and just blow everybody away, because this won't knock your socks off, but you'll still feel it pretty good. Okay, so that's basically concludes my video. If I was to take key takeaways, is my pros is I'm really glad they refreshed the screen situation. It looks a lot more modern. It definitely keeps up with the other luxury segment, and the exterior aesthetics look really nice. My cons would be probably around the, you know, this being just a 2 liter engine. I understand that it can only push you so much, but still being a Cadillac and around the price range that it's at, I'd like them to up their game as far as horsepower and torque. They do have other options. They are more expensive. Makes sense. But for this option, even as a Cadillac, and you go like, okay, basic engine choice should perform better in my opinion. I want to hear from you guys, because Cadillac definitely made its name as being a luxury brand, but now it's kind of pushing its name into a luxury performance brand. I like that segment. I definitely like that Buick can be the luxury brand and be on the comfort side, and Cadillac can be the luxury performance brand. And I want all their vehicles to be performance-oriented vehicle. My thought, I want to hear yours. I like engaging our audience. I like what you guys have to say about everything. There's no wrong answer. Comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.